don't have to do anything to get it because we all already are it. And yet you teach a wonderful course, I'm told, that helps people with a variety of practices to sort of let go into their own experience of unconditioned mind.
Yeah, but the practices, in a way, they're just excuses. They're reasons for people to come together, to connect, and allow a sort of resonance to happen, and just allow a shift to happen, so that there's less identification with who we are at this finite, embodied level. Not that we're suppressing that, there's no running away from it, no need to avoid it, but that there's an expansion to include something that is transpersonal, a transpersonal experience, an experience that goes beyond, it has actually nothing to do with me as an individual, that I can fully and palpably experience, but has nothing to do with me, for example, as Peter Fenner, an Australian living in the 21st century. It's a little bit paradoxical. It is dependent upon that. My experience of the unconditioned mind has to come through my embodied existence, but the experience itself has nothing to do with the structure of who I am in time or space.
Why would someone, if it has nothing to do with them, want to go to the effort, or rather the non-effort, that it takes to experience unconditioned mind?
Well, again, there is no effort involved, so you don't have to do anything. So it's not a question of, an expenditure of effort or even of time. But somehow this awareness, it just does seem to arise for people. When it arises, people can recognize that this state is the end of the spiritual endeavor. That if you arrive at this state, if it occurs within your mind stream, that you're experiencing the end of all searching. It's the ultimate goal of all human existence. That's how I describe it. There is nowhere further to go. If you're in this state, there's nothing more to do. It's enlightenment.
That's so hard for people, especially in the West, because we're so used to, being trained for grades or money or love or sex or any of these things. We're always wanting to go out and do better or win something. It's hard to let go for people.
Yeah, but there's nothing to let go of. So actually, the letting go is part, or the need to let go is part of what creates those structures. That's what creates spiritual paths. People invest money in order to let go, to learn how to let go. So I'm not rejecting that. But it's also possible to realize that there is nothing to let go of because there's nothing wrong in this moment. This moment is actually beyond right and wrong. There's nothing right about this. There's nothing wrong about it. When I say this, what I'm talking about is this as unstructured awareness.
So the part of us that is the same, that's sort of experiencing us having this conversation, my mind is starting to run up against some of the structural blocks about talking about it. As you said, you can't really talk about it, but you can experience it.
Yes and no. I mean, strictly, it's not an experience, because if it was an experience, it would come and go. It's paradoxical. Zen Buddhism recognizes this fully, right? The paradoxical nature of the non-dual experience when we're trying to use language to talk about it. We're trying to use language to talk about this experience. Again and again and again we will encounter paradoxes. It's inevitable. There's no other way that we can describe it. So what I advise people to do is just listen, for example, to what I'm saying lightly. Don't try to grab onto it conceptually or intellectually. Just listen to it lightly. Let your mind move with the way I'm talking, and then it's possible that some sort of induction can happen.
So a resonance between your experience of this state and whoever else is interacting with you. And that's part of the value of the Radiant Mind course, is that you help induct people into a place of experiencing. I know it's not an experience, but you help people experience the non-dual state many times during the course, which is 8 months long from beginning to end. And so they get sort of more and more of a little bit of a taste of what it's like?
Yeah, exactly. So like at the beginning in the first workshop, there's a fairly thorough saturation in the experience because I just go for the ultimate experience as much as I can. Just immersing people in that experience that goes beyond loss and gain, in which there's nothing more to accomplish or achieve. Just effortless existence, totally non-pressurized way of being. There's no pressure, no need to do anything, no need to know. So as much as possible, people just get a fairly saturated experience of that. Something happens at a cellular level as well. So then when they come together and meet together, it's like there's an automatic gravitation or movement towards the reactivation of that state.